So we'll move on now to our next new release for May, and it's actually an all-new movie, which did get it got a theatrical release in Australia. I'm not sure if it did in the UK, but it is the reboot of the Wrong Turn franchise, and this one's directed by Mike P. Nelson.
You know what we wouldn't have found if we would have stayed on the trail?
What is that?
I saw someone. I saw someone.
It's a story people here know but don't talk about, except in whispers. Anyone who goes up there.
What is this place?
Guys! They don't come back.
Descendants of these people are still living up there on the mountain?
Yeah, this is the first Wrong Turn movie I've actually seen, and judging on this, it'll probably be the last Wrong Turn movie that I'm ever going to watch. So, as I say, I'd not seen any of the other movies. I didn't really know what they're about, so this was an all-new thing for me. So, this might as well have been the very first Wrong Turn movie ever, because I've not seen any of the others. But what's it about? So we got Matthew Modine, who's sort of, quite a big name, I suppose, for a film like this. He stars as Scott, who's the father of his Jennifer, who's his daughter, who disappeared 6 weeks ago with her friends as they go hiking along the Appalachian Trail. And then we sort of get a flashback to 6 weeks before with Jennifer and all of her really simply fucking annoying friends as they fall foul of a group of mountain hillbillies called the Foundation, who sort of live off the grid, live their own lives, and just, spend their spare time setting booby traps in the woods to sort of impale, unknowing young people. And it's just like, it's just the whole, I don't know. I don't want to sit here saying it's shit, but the first 45 minutes are certainly shit. It's just, I just knew from the start that it was so cliched. So it starts off with Matthew Modine as Scott, in the sort of the local sheriff's office. And it's just that cliche where it's just a backwards hick town with a backwards racist hick sheriff who really doesn't care and wants nothing to do with it. And it starts off, he shows the sheriff a photo of Jennifer and her boyfriend, Darius, who's black. And when he sees that he's black, like the sheriff's kind of like, who's this then? And it's just obvious that he's just, he just immediately suspects that it's got something to do with the black boyfriend. And he's just like this racist hick. And there's just, scenes in the local bar, what's it called? The Deer and Beer. It just reminds me of like a hick version of the Slaughtered Lamb from American Werewolf in London, where people are just not made welcome when they walk into the bar. You've got like older guys with cross eyes at the pool table who just sort of spout shit, and it's just yeah. And the problem is, like, when it gets to the flashback and you see what happens to the young characters, you just don't care. I didn't. I was wanting them to die, frankly. It's like they're all just like, they're all super annoying. Especially there's one character called Adam, who's an absolute bellend, and you just want him to die a horrible death. And spoilers, he does die a horrible death. And but it's just his attitude and just sort of winding up the locals, and they're just, I didn't like any of the young characters apart from Jennifer. I did quite like Jennifer's character, though. She's still quite annoying, and she's played by Charlotte Vega, and she's clearly the final girl of the movie, and she's the most likable. When all her friends around her start to die horrible deaths, it kind of, I didn't really care. And there's elements of the plot that make no sense whatsoever. Like, one of the characters sort of, they wake up, they get lost in the woods. They wake up the next morning and all of their phones are gone. It's like, ooh, spooky. How did that happen? And then they happen to wake up next to this sort of plaque about the Foundation, like this thing that's on a rock. Hey, look at this. It's It's a plaque that says something about the Foundation. It's just like, oh god, it's so fucking clunky. And like one of these characters sort of disappears for ages, and it's like, oh my god, where's she gone? She must have been taken. And then about 20 minutes later, she just reappears and said, oh yeah, I just went to pee. And it's like, well, hang on a minute, you went to pee, but that was fucking ages ago. And then there's just things about the plot that make fuck all sense, and character choices which make no sense whatsoever. The film tries to deal with issues of morality, and it just, the whole thing is clunky as fuck. It really is. And I would say the first 45 minutes are really bad and clunky as fuck. And then the last hour I actually enjoyed a lot more, even though I still thought overall it was not that great. But I did enjoy the last hour a bit more. So once the remaining young characters have actually been captured by the Foundation, and there's a courtroom scene where they're sort of put on trial for killing one of the members of the Foundation. And I thought it was quite interesting, but there's the film tries to give these moments of real shock and gore, and they don't work. I don't know if it's because you get used to seeing that kind of thing. So there's some of the gore reminded me of things I'd seen in films like Midsommar, and it just didn't work. It didn't shock me. It was just kind of and it just seemed like gore for gore's sake. It didn't really help or drive the plot or anything. It just seemed a bit unoriginal and a bit boring, to be honest. And then the film, the film comes back to Matthew Modine Scott, who goes into the woods to find Jennifer. And that's all pretty good. And then, spoilers, he does find Jennifer, and then it's about how they, are they able to escape from the Foundation? And that was quite tense and quite good in places. So, there are a few good things about it. But overall, I just thought this was really quite bad. And I know you're pretty much on the same page, aren't you, Ben?
Fucking hell, yeah. I mean, my summing up was I've just put it's an astonishingly bad slasher flick that not only asks you to forget every cliche of the genre, but asks you to leave reason, logic, and any ounce of common sense at the fucking door. It's just it's so bad. It's really bad. As you said, Matthew Modine heads to redneck country in search of his daughter who's gone missing on a stalk and slash weekend with her mates, and it just nails every slasher movie cliche on the head. But it's so badly done. Like you said, so clumpy, so poorly made that I think even the actors in it are bored. They look bored. Halfway through it. And like you said, there's just some really ridiculous things like that last week. I think you said she goes missing and it's this sort of blind panic, and she turns up. She just says like, "Oh, I've been to the toilet." Well, we're in the middle of they're in the middle of the woods, and you managed to find us. We're all lost. You found us. Yeah. But the absolutely amazing scene where they wake up after the overnight stay and they're camping out in obviously in tents, and all the cell phones have gone missing. And it turns out they've been camping in a fucking cemetery and it's surrounded by headstones. Like, how did you manage in pitch darkness to set up a fucking tent surrounded by headstones without realizing that? Surely, what's that on the sign? What's that on the wall? It's a sign. It says, "Beware serial killers and nutcases of every description." Oh fuck no. It's just so bad. It's sort of got a bit of Blair Witch in it. I think sometimes you feel that the dialogue's been improvised and it just doesn't come off. It's completely non-genuine. Its delivery is so shit. I mean, one of the booby traps comes swinging below. It's like I can't describe. It's like a barrel with spikes sticking out of it, and it comes swinging down from the trees and it wipes one of them out. He wipes him out completely and knocks him to the ground. And he's got, his blood gushing from a wound. And one of the guys just goes, "God, great, another booby trap." Just not like, "Oh my God." And it's like, "Look, another, it's a massive inconvenience." Like, you might just roll his eyes and talk it, "Another booby trap." Like, even a bit of direct, that doesn't sound right. And I'm just so bored. I'm really bored of this now. And it didn't seem to go anywhere, and it turns out that, for some fucking strange reason, a tribe of Vikings decide to live on Frady Mountain and take exception to obnoxious yuppie youths who go walking there, and some convoluted story that they've left civilization many years before because of the threat of war, and they now live in a self-sufficient commune that has everything they need apart from I don't know, electricity, and if you want a skull mask and a weird looking cloak made out of cobwebs and moss, they've got that as well. They're fine, but it's just so bad. It's so bad. I mean, I put bad points. It's on for fucking ages. I mean, it's on for a long time for a slasher film, and even the makers get sick of it and start rolling the credits before it's finished. And it's just shit. It makes no sense, you know. Like we said the other day, we said for all we know, the film might still be on, and we just fucking give up because
I think it is.
the credits are rolling.
Yeah.
There's still things happening. We just don't fucking know. But you know,
Yeah.
I say, which I find something good in it. It's got a good score. I did like the score. The score was better than the movie, which is a shame. But it's fucking terrible, kids. We talked about the remake of The Craft a couple of months ago, and we said the same thing. It's got like a great premise. The youths and the tweens deserve much better than this. We're the same again. Slasher films aren't that hard. It's dead easy. You can make a slasher film and make it good. I'm not easy, but no, there's a way to do it. I mean, fucking hell. There'll be an audience out there for it, but it deserves better than this. You can't have a group of obnoxious, unlikable youths and expect us to be sympathetic when they start getting wiped out. We'll be on the fucking skullfuckers side every single time. Fucking them. It's true, though, isn't it?
Skullfuckers.
Yeah, skullfuckers. We're not going to be on the side of these assholes who've basically got everything coming to them. But you're right, every cliche, the old redneck bar's great with "Don't be going up them mountains. There be freedom mountains." Oh, fucking hell. Okay. I think I'll go to that mountain.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, fucking awful.
Yeah, and I mean, I think I liked it a bit more than you did, but it is still pretty bad. And like the ending, like I don't want to. I'm not going to go into spoilers, but the ending is fucking terrible. It tries to go for like a shock ending, and actually, the premise of the ending is actually it is quite tense. You think, oh shit, how are they going to get out of this? And then it's a fake out. It's like it's got like two endings, and the first ending, as I said, has this real potential to be like, oh, okay, this is quite interesting, and then it turns out to be like it's not real, and it's like a fake out, and you think, oh, for fuck's sake, really? And then the actual ending itself just seems, it's like the scriptwriter like couldn't be arsed or had a stroke or something, or and then someone just found the script on the computer. It's like, yeah, we'll make that, even though it hasn't really got an ending. It's like the ending is shit. It just ends, and as Ben just said, maybe it hasn't. Maybe it's still going, and we just turned it off because, like I say, the credits start rolling before the fucking film's finished. It's like as the climax is playing out, the credits start, and you're like, what? So yeah, it's not great. It's not great, and I can't imagine there's going to be any more Wrong Turn movies after this one. So yeah.